Before we go to the SoloQ strats, just a quick idea why we'll be holding areas that I will suggest in the video. As SoloQ, when you cannot rely on your team, or you don't know if you can, you want to be the one that factors the outcome of the round. If you're anchoring, for example, the outcome depends on the roamers. If you're denying one side of the objective, the outcome may or may not depend on you. It depends from where attackers will be pushing. With that being said, let's jump to some SoloQ strats. Clubhouse. And when defending basement objectives, it is recommended to start your roaming journey at the main stairs, getting some of the drones and then going on the top. It is very important not to let any early drones going toward the bedroom side from the bar, so make sure to deny that. Also, by getting some drones before playing on the top, I mean drones coming from the bar, toilet, or kitchen area. If drones are coming from the top, this means you're playing against a coordinated team. Therefore, then it is recommended to play in the blue by the generator. For the top floor roam, it is recommended to have someone with the impacts, just in case you will need to open up the construction hatch. The idea behind the SoloQ hold is you're denying the early info from attackers, and going on the top. From where you can deny both pushes. You can even open up the office floor to deny the kitchen push. It is also worth mentioning that usually I'm going over a few SoloQ strats on the series of map guides, so make sure to check them out. I have also covered a few SoloQ spots in the SoloQ video. Last, but not at least, many times during your ranked match reviews that are happening during my stream, people ask me about the SoloQ tips, so feel free to join when I stream. Coastline as a map is a very hard to SoloQ, even if it is a monkey playstyle map. To roam successfully in the coastline, you need team aggression, you need coordination and intel denial and gather. But since you're in a SoloQ, your best bet when defending hookah and pool will be to play around the kitchen, pink, and the blue area. You can start your round as well as in the office just to get a couple of drones and retreat to the named rooms. An operator with a C4 would be handy, and let me explain the idea. The idea of this is, you can with the C4 deny both pushes, as well as you can very safely go toward the hookah stairs whenever it is necessary. You didn't put yourself stuck in a room like you would put yourself if you were playing the aqua behind the shield. You have room to play with. Also in the rank, more often than not, the attacker will try to push for the ping bar, and you can be the person denying that push as much as possible. It will be also great to have a rotation between the pink and blue. But if you cannot get it, it is not a big deal. Consulate is already a bit simpler to SoloQ defend, especially now with the reinforcement pool. What you need now is a smoke or Vamai playing the toilet of the first floor when defending cafeteria and garage. Smoke will be better if you can get your ADSs or magnets in the toilet, but if you cannot, use Vamai. You will reinforce these 4 walls and you will have a deployable shield in the toilet facing the door. You will have to drop down if any of the 4 walls are being opened. And you can do it by the toilet hatch that you will open. Don't worry about you opening the hatch, as if they get the toilet control, they will most likely open up the whole piano and antechamber floor. Therefore, they really don't get anything with this open hatch. Also, you can open up the hatch even with the Vamai. The idea behind this is not allowing them to play vertically, which gives your anchors more space to deny the garage push. You can play on the top of the toilets if you wish so. If you're smoke, make sure to open up angles on the toilet toward the cafe, so attackers may think you are being supported from below. Also, do not hesitate to use your smoke if you're about to be pushed, such as someone throwing flashes. On Cafe, I really love to play with the Legion or Goyo when defending cooking and service. I play in the first floor restaurant with the goo mine by the red hole. Onto the big window, freezer hall, and brown stairs. You will also need a rotation by this wall. and both named operators can do that. And the other one toward the bronze stairs and the big window is recommended. However, the freezer push cannot be heard if done then. You can also make bullet or melee holes in the table. The idea behind this hold is that you are most certainly denying the freezer push, and it is really recommended to have someone in the VIP as well, just for the sake of the crossfires in the freezer, big window, and the entrance. However, you're also denying the bakery push. How? First and foremost, you're denying the red hole push, but as well as you can anytime go very safely to the service and from there deny anything you want to deny. If you'd like to see more SoloQ setups on defense or attacks, make sure to give this video a love as it really helps the video more than you think. Oregon is also an interesting map when SoloQing. When defending kids and dorms, your best position to be is in the tarps, just below the attic. Vamai will be an optional pick if you could ask Mute, Bandit or Kai to electrify the wall, as well as to open up the hatch and put a barbed wire next to the hatch. This might sound too much, but everyone should know how to do this. However, if you're in a really low MMR lobby, then you can play with the bandit barbed wires and then put your charges by the tarp to trophy wall, and bandit trick the attic to the tower walls. You can also, with your 3.5 of your mag, open up attic hatch, as I will do that. Having the trophy wall closed means you'll be able to play in the tarps for the entire round. Assuming you're a Vamai, having a deployable shield on the attic as well as having magnets protecting it will deny the attackers to push you. On the other hand, you can also deny the badge and trophy push from the tarp doors. So that will be the idea of the hold as well. You're denying the attic push as well as the trophy push if you will be ignored by the tarps. Theme Park. Allowed to play with Valkyrie whenever defending bunk and daycare, as with one camera I usually put it around the cafe or outside the cafe. But with the other two I supplement my roam game around the office and initiation. Having a walkie camera around the dragon and by the cache balcony will enable you to play aggressively onto the attackers. The balcony camera will enable you to play in the toilet and peek slightly more aggressive onto them, and then slowly going back to the first floor from the yellow stairs, where the dragon camera will come to its place now, to start the flanking them. The cafe camera is there just in case attackers are pushing that side, but in higher MMR expect the balcony push, and with these two cameras you're settled up for the early as well as the late game. Obviously reinforce the office to the cache walls, and it will be great to have someone playing in initiation, but you sometimes cannot make that happen in the solo queue. Knowing when to retreat back from the toilet office is probably the hardest part of this solo queue hold, especially if you don't have a rotation between the office and the top yellow. For our final solo queue setup, let's go to the villa. It is recommended to play Alibi when defending games and Aviator, as you can reinforce the triple statuary walls as well as put the deployable shield at the Astro, and open up yourself a rotation toward the trophy and the statuary. You wouldn't be able to do this with any other operator than Alibi. To use her gadget, you can use one behind the deployable shield, you can use one in the statuary, and one can be used in the trophy. The idea behind this hold is that you're definitely holding off attackers coming for the bedroom and the astronomy, but as well as, if you're not going to be pushed, you can go back to the site relatively safely, or as well as try to flank them from the living on the first floor. Thank you for watching this video and staying with me for this long, and thanks all the patrons and YouTube members for making this video available. If you want to learn all the basics and advanced things about the siege, make sure to give me a like, subscribe and click the notification bell to get all notifications from my channel. Make sure to give me feedback down in the comment section below.